What's going on, comic friends?
Oh, what
I'm
up?
Collector, and welcome back to another council meeting or meeting of the Council of X. Good to have some of my fellow council members along for the show tonight. Of course, we've got my guy Dan from Dan's X-Men Comics. He's got his t-shirt.
Yeah.
He's holding it up. So is Derek. That the t-shirts were not a requirement.
Oh, okay.
You guys got to show up in uniform.
Got Uncanny Derek Comics here. We've got
what up, Richard?
We've got
Chris,
Up North Comics, or should I say Stick to Toys?
What up?
And then we've got Haden, the Next Gen Collector. What's going on, guys?
Yeah, what up?
Before we get started, I just have to, take care of a little business here and kick off this meeting room.
The Council of X is in session, come. Be there if they square.
Never gets old. Never gets old. Thank you.
That's better than the Claremont one, I gotta say. That is like.
Whoa now.
Yeah,
I said it.
Whoa.
I said it.
Because I was there on the
equally fantastic.
No, the audio turned out really well on that too, because I remember that
I had to do some. Yeah, I had to do some.
Oh,
magic.
Ryan doing his
Still
magic
a little
again.
janky, but it's not too bad. Let's say hello to some of our friends in the chat. We've got Richard Westfall, as always. Richard, thank you for being here. He said, "This is the best show on YouTube, and I'm not even an X-Men fan. Love the host, panel, and content. Too kind.
Look at this.
Too kind."
He's not wrong.
We've got Big Nasty Comics. He's ready. We're ready. Thanks for being here tonight. Got Matt and Clemson.
Yo.
What's going on, Matt? Matt's going to be on my channel on Wednesday. We're doing a CGC unboxing.
Oh, cool.
For my second episode of Colossus' Spotlight.
Oh, nice.
And we're going to be joined by Brandon from Mon Comics and Justin from No Good Comics. So it's going to be a good show on Wednesday. Please tune into that. That's going to be at 7:30 Eastern time. Who else do we got here? We've got Flow Wolf Comics. This X chat is always so much fun. Glad you could be here, Flow Wolf. Thank you to everybody in the chat who does make it a fun time. Got Renegade Rants Comics. Evening, everybody. Good to see you. Zim Man, what's going on? Zim, I believe that's the same Zim Man that popped into our claim sale on Friday with Dan and I and got a lot of books. So thanks for being here tonight, Zim, and thanks for supporting Dan and I as we try to
figure out how to package all the
try to make a
box that you bought.
What else do we got? We've got Chris, our fellow council member, couldn't be here live with us, but he's in the chat. Chris, one thing I just want to say right off the bat, there's a couple of things I wanted to promote. One is our good friend Chris at Cheddar Comics just put out an incredible video about the history and origin of the Marvel corner box, the little iconic graphic that is in the top left corner of every Marvel comic from the 1960s to the 1990s, and just does an awesome breakdown. His videos are fantastic. I always tell him, like, honestly, one of my favorite content creators that I watch and subscribe to. So please go check out that video because it is criminally unviewed currently, and it deserves some love. So shout out to Chris and his awesome video creating skills.
I definitely have to check that out. Awesome.
Yeah, it's really good. You're gonna like it a lot.
Let's see. We've got Marsh Squad. What's going on, Marsh? And that is the end of the chat, or to the current point in the chat. One other thing I wanted to also shout out, my friend James, the host of the Nerdy Musings podcast, just he reached out to me the other day. He had a young man, a guest on his most recent episode, who's an upcoming self-starting comic creator. He's got a Kickstarter for his new comic called Pillow Man. And the young man's he's like 18 or 19. He's just getting started, and he's kind of coming up to a deadline on his Kickstarter for his comic book that is a little bit a ways from its goal and might expire before he gets there. And so I just wanted to support James, support Pillow Man and this young creator, and just give it a shout out. If you could spare a couple bucks, support him, try to help him get this thing off the ground. I know he would be super appreciative, and myself and James as well. I've put the link to it in the description, so you can check out the Kickstarter there. You can also head over to Nerdy Musings podcast and see that episode. It just dropped today. Get a little bit more information and kind of get to know the creator. I haven't watched it yet myself. It's on my to watch list this week, so I will definitely be doing that. But yeah, any help you could give, an upcoming potential comic book master creator in the future, now in his early years, I think is a great thing. So check that out. Also, there is a link to Chris's video on Corner Boxes in the description as well. So that's my plugs for the evening. Now we could get on to the topic of discussion for this evening. The task for these gentlemen were to come up with their top 5 X-Men moments from TV, film, or animated cartoons, anything live, anything action. I guess not live action. So they all, and then they had to find a comic book that somehow correlated with that moment. It didn't have to be literally from that story, but just something that kind of was associated. They could associate or connect to that moment, just to kind of continue to show. We're talking about movies, but the comics is where it all starts, and we want to always keep a little bit of focus on that. So, any volunteers to kick this thing off? Who wants to start?
Go around the horn.
All right.
Counterclockwise, though. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, yeah. Haden, you're up.
So how are we doing? Everyone does their 5, or we just go through?
Yeah, we're just gonna do 5 at a time. I think it takes or makes it a little bit easier.
All right. So I got to remember my list. I don't have pen and paper, so I'm going all off the dome here. So my list might change a little bit based on what I sent you. So, but for number 5, I put for those
who have books.
Oh yes, I do have.
That might help. That might help jog your memory, though, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. My number 5 was definitely hard because I thought I had a book that went with it, and I realized I think I sold it on accident. So I'm winging it. But basically, my number 5 spot, those who have seen it, there's a little special out there that I don't think you can buy anymore. It's called Hulk Versus, and one of the specials was Hulk versus Wolverine. In their first interaction together, it kind of recreates that first appearance. And there's like a couple frames that emulate special covers, like the Hulk 340, I believe, cover is homaged in it. Oh, there you go. Yes.
That's cool.
So this fight was kind of like, as a kid, one of my first kind of implications, like, dang, Wolverine is this capable. And it just, the entire special is insane. But that first meeting, it's just back and forth, toe to toe. And when you're my age growing up, Hulk is the strongest there is, but you got this little short Canadian guy that's going toe to toe with him. It's pretty awesome. So my book that I have is another legendary Wolverine matchup, because I thought I had the What If Wolverine won, but I don't. So I have this Wolverine number 10, another iconic matchup instead. Wolverine versus Sabretooth, also in the snow.
Noise.
Who's the artist for that cover? Man, is that looks like Silvestri or something? But that's look that up,
dude. Were you do you remember the animated episode where he goes to like Alaska?
Yeah, that was like episode 6 or something. What was it called? Cold Comfort.
Oh yeah,
wow,
in the Arctic.
Yeah. But that's what I was thinking about. Yeah. when it comes to them.
Bill Sienkiewicz did that cover.
Sienkiewicz.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Full comfort. I got some of this.
BS. Good initials.
All right, do you guys want to do take turns? I'm just wondering. Maybe let's do that.
Yes, because I'm like struggling. Also, I was like trying to look through my.
That gives you if anybody needs a reminder, I do have all your lists. Like,
oh, that would be perfect.
handy on my phone. So if you do need a little memory jog, I can help you out. Okay, let's jump over to Derek since he's at the top. Give us your number 5, Derek.
Okay, so my number 5 is going to be. This is actually I got 2 of the same book here. This is my favorite. I really enjoyed the last season of the X-Men animated series in the 90s, even though it was utter trash. The 2-part episode Phalanx Covenant, which is what this is. The thing I enjoyed the most about that episode is that it had a team up of Beast, Forge, Mr. Sinister, Quicksilver, and Warlock all fighting the Phalanx, which was just, having Mr. Sinister was such an awesome villain in the series. So to have all of that happen and then, there they are. See, Warlock is Forge's leg there. And so anyway, this technically what happened in that 2-parter didn't happen in the comics, but this is the Phalanx Covenant. And actually this particular book is my very first comic book. This is what got me into X-Men. This is what got it all started. And if I were to open this up here and just to show you, like, this actually got left out for a year in the rain. Like, it's destroyed.
Oh man.
If you look in the back here, like, there's my handwriting. Like,
this got left out in the rain for a year?
For a year. The thing's completely warped and warbly. It's like, the thing's just trash, right? And it's the first appearance of Sync, the Gen X guy on the cover. But anyway, this book means a lot to me as well, because obviously it's what got me into X-Men. And this is a mint copy of said book. I had my reader's copy since the 90s. And I have a mint condition copy right here. And the reason why I bought this book too was because I was watching the cartoon show, and the Phalanx Covenant, obviously the episode didn't come out before the book, but I recognized Sabretooth on the cover. I'm like, oh, he's from that show I was watching on TV. And that's the only reference of like similar characters. Like Jubilee's kind of in the episode or in the issue, but it's mostly Banshee and Sync, and Sabretooth is arrested. And like, that's kind of the whole, it's not that exciting of an issue. But yeah, Phalanx Covenant, number 5, and my first comic book. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
there you go.
Sweet. All right.
Top that.
Danny boy.
You're muted, bud.
All right. Okay, how about let's do a 5. I liked it was the X-Men 97. I think like one of my favorite moments in that series. Of course, we all love the Gambit, I can't feel you moment, right? Love that. But something that I remember just really fist pumping to was when Storm had dug deep and found her powers again, and then transformed into the Dave Cockrum style Storm. And that was just like, there was just so many, they just like hit all of the notes that like a fan would want to see. And I just remember there's just such an emotional draw to every one of those scenes. It was almost like, I don't know, they took like some drama from anime and like really get emotionally like built up to this one moment. And like, I know who I am, like, it was fantastic.
Over 9,000.
Yeah. Now I couldn't think of, an issue to pull for it. I mean, like, would this be similar to the moment that
I think life death. If you would with the adversary.
Look, I'm gonna be honest, guys. I brought 2 books that I knew what I was doing. All the rest of the free ones, I'm like, what the hell? Like, dude, I got
all good, man.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
excuse me, but
you're not you don't need to be excused. It's all good,
Thank you.
Whatever came to mind for you is what came.
And then
No.
Yep. All right. So, thanks for indulging me on my number 5.
But that wasn't.
There you go.
It was a great moment. That was the moment. Yeah.
That was the moment, right?
Thank you.
All right, Bruce.
So, do you want me to show you my 5th pick, or can I just
the fifth.
Can I show an extra book that I brought, or do you want me to save that?
Is the extra book part of your 5th, or it's just an extra book?
No, it's just an extra X-Men book.
Though, show your 5th and then show the extra book.
Okay, so you want me to do my 5th first? All right. So,
so you want me to do my 5th first, huh?
hey. All right.
I'll give you my 5th.
Hold on, I didn't anticipate going backwards, so let me just grab what I need here. All right, so for my 5th book, I'm gonna echo Dan in X-Men '97. First season, great, but there was a very pinnacle moment in that season that just shook everybody to its core. I'll throw it up, and everybody's gonna know what it is right away.
Yeah.
So I had marked the page, and this is when Magneto rips Wolverine's adamantium from his body. And that is this page right here. We've shown it many times on the Council of X before. I mean, I remember showing off this book when we were talking about the show, but that was just like one of the pinnacle top 3 moments. There it is.
Yeah, the fact that they did it like almost exact same.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
It's verbatim what you see on the page. I mean, I'll go back to it.
Slight differences, but so cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's a very cool page. And I picked this book up in Bangor, actually downstate somewhere, and it's pretty mint. I remember having this one as a kid. I remember because the little hologram would draw me in. So yeah, it is. And being a 90s kid, I mean, I definitely had this one. I definitely remember owning this book at one point. I don't know what happened to it now, but so that's my 5th pick. And then I recently got back into collecting comics. I took a long break for a little while, and Dan and Ryan know, and they were very upset that I got my nickname here, Stick to Toys Bruce. I was collecting toys for a while, but I have been grabbing books again, and I'm really excited about it because one day I was just searching through eBay, and I just happened to stumble across this book, and I was like, is that what I think it is? And that's this book right here. It's issue number 109. This is the first appearance of Weapon X, which is later referred to as Alpha Omega. But the most important part about this book, if you open it up to the splash page, that is a Dave Cockrum and John Byrne signature right there. And I don't think the guy on eBay that sold it to me knew what the signature was. I mean, I was, messaging him back and forth, and I said, I was really excited because it was my first signature, and he never responded. So I don't know if he knew.
Dang.
He knew what it was or not. But I mean, that's pretty rare to stumble across. So
that's awesome.
I'm really happy to own this, and this was the book right here that was like clicked again. Like I need to start picking up some books. So. I'm really happy to have this one.
Yeah.
Bruce is buying books again, huh?
Yep.
He's back, baby.
I'm back, baby.
They try to pull you away and they stick you right back in.
Yeah.
All right. Josh. So
hey guys, sorry.
Hey,
no worries. Welcome aboard. We're just showing one by one from our 5th to our number 1. So show off your number 5 pick.
All right. Well, I guess my number 5 pick is the Sentinel raid in Days of Future Past. And I think that kind of put, for me, when I think of that scene, just like the dire stakes and how dangerous those Sentinels, those Mystique hybrid Sentinels are. And of course, you got all these great characters that you hadn't seen before, Bishop and Bobby DaCosta there. And Iceman finally doing his Iceman thing, like spit and get his head twisted off. It was like you felt it, the stakes in that movie, and it really put X-Men back on the map, baby.
Baby.
And I honestly, I was selling comic books yesterday. I still have a cold, so I'm like, any moment I have of recuperation, and I didn't really grab books until like 2 minutes ago, so I don't really have a book for that particular scene. But I guess maybe I'll just show a Wolverine versus Sabretooth card. Yeah.
All right.
It works.
We'll take it. We'll take it. Hey, Trav.
How about
Hey. You guys hear me okay?
This is my old copy of X-Men 11 here.
Stranger.
Yeah, so if anyone wants it, it's low grade. It's low grade.
This is a bag of Halls I got on my desk.
Yeah, I got some Tylenol right here.
And
Children's Tylenol.
a can of bubbly.
I have a Reese's mug.
I have to say I did
Ooh,
not.
I like that mug.
I was not prepared today.
Oh,
Was
it's all
anybody
good,
prepared?
Trav. Sit back and enjoy.
Only Ryan.
I have a list.
Did you
All
check
right.
it twice?
Prepared.
No, yeah, Bruce is prepared. That's true.
I got my ducks in a row.
So, my
Are we gonna race those ducks?
Yeah, absolutely. You can win an
Go on,
extra.
Duck.
Yeah, my space right now is a mix between I was doing comic book shipping and I was doing art, so there's stuff all over the place right now. So
man
A man of all seasons.
many things.
Yeah.
Nice. Just checking back in, just because I'm on my little visual tab. I'm just checking out the chat. Chris said, "Whoa, signature lottery." I agree. That was awesome for Bruce to get that book. And Justin's in the house. What's going on, Justin? Marsh, thanks for popping in tonight. Appreciate it. All right. I'm going to jump in with my 5th pick. So, man, there's just like, especially when you guys were sending me your stuff, I was just thinking like, oh, that's a great one too. Great one too. So there's lots of moments that I think could have made this list, but I did narrow it down to 5, and I had to go at 5. I had to go with this one, and that is the very first live action appearance of my guy Colossus.
Woo!
In X2 during the mansion raid. I mean, I don't love the design of Colossus, but it's an older movie, and it's before I had any other kind of references. When this happened, it was pretty awesome, although very short-lived, unfortunately. Clearly, they were trying to save money on their CGI budget by only having that one scene with Colossus. But it was really cool to see that happen, and it gave you a little bit of hope that maybe you'll see him a little bit more in the next film, which we did. But the next film was pretty bad, so you can't win. But the book I picked was the first appearance ever of Colossus.
Yes.
We'll make her go home, right?
First live action appearance. Pair it with the first appearance of Colossus ever in comics. And it's just an excuse to show off my GSX set.
nice.
Damn.
All right. So I guess we go
What up,
back
Dave?
now.
That's Brooklyn.
So Trav, you're spectating.
I'm
Oh,
really
he's
pull anything.
okay.
Well,
So
he's
you
frozen,
froze
is what he
there.
is.
You said I'm,
Ice
and then
Man.
it froze. Okay, we'll swing back around to Haden.
All right, number 4. Correct me if I'm wrong. I may have also picked the X-Men 97 scene from this spot, right?
Yes, you did.
Oh, yes, of course I did. I knew that. I think everyone, Dan kind of hit on it a little bit, but when the Sentinels invaded Genosha, that whole sequence of everybody kind of showcasing their powers to the fullest extent was just, I mean, it was awesome. You had Magneto raging out, throwing the subway cars, Gambit, making his sacrifice, Rogue going crazy. Just that whole scene of kind of like everybody giving it their all, showcasing their powers to their full ability, life or death. The stakes were insanely high. Everyone knows how it ended, how it made us all feel. The internet blew up. So that's what landed at number 4. And of course, in memorandum for my boy Gambit.
Yep.
Beautiful.
We lost a good man that day.
I know. I had some jambalaya and some gumbo to mourn him.
But I mean, that was definitely like such a huge moment of that first season.
Oh
Yeah.
The scene where Magneto's covering up little, what's his face? I
Leech.
forgot. Leech. Yeah.
Leech.
And he's just staring at him, knowing there's nothing he can do while he's holding up the magnetic field around him. Oh,
You know what really got me? Like, because obviously Magneto survived, right? I always wanted to know, like, did he survive because Leech negated his powers and therefore the Sentinel didn't kill Magneto? Like, they never really explained how Magneto survived that.
yeah. And then
It was like it must have been because of Leech, and then it wasn't really explained.
You got a half-hour episode, man.
they say we can't kill off too many people, so
All right.
All right, you're up, Derek. Number 4.
Let's talk about fancy foil covers and talk about Generation X #1. Only because I was not kidding when I posted it in the chat about the Generation X movie, guys. It's hot garbage. But to a child, when it was amazing. And it was the coolest thing ever. And in the beginning of that movie, or made for TV movie, they had Skin show off his powers. And like I was aware of the books, but I never really saw the mutant power show off in real time before. We only had the cartoon show. So Generation X was like really the first time we got to see live action X-Men, albeit done absolutely like ass. So there's a scene at the very beginning of the movie where Skin is leaving his house and his little sisters are grabbed onto his arm. And as they're driving away, his arm starts stretching. And Ryan, I don't know if you have a photo of this. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, it's so bad. But that scene really stuck in my head because it was like, oh my God, you can actually watch him go Stretch Armstrong style. And it was really cool. And so like that doesn't happen in the books, but this is the closest I'm going to get to explaining that. And man, who doesn't love a good foil cover, right?
Hell yeah, that's cool, man.
That's foily goodness right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's my number 4.
The Generation X clips on YouTube are so low res. Like that's
Yeah.
that's the best we got.
That's as best as it's gonna get. And like there was cool scenes like Banshee gets to scream in that movie and knock the kids around, but like they made up some mutants for the TV show, and that movie's garbage. I'll be surprised if anybody else picked anything from that at any point in their lives.
I remember it not so fondly.
You were definitely the only one to pull a reference from that, Derek.
Yeah, well done.
Spoiler alert, but
Cover all the bases.
Dan.
All right. Okay, where to go next? I know what my top 3 are. Okay. You
didn't exactly rank yours, so like.
Oh, okay, good,
Yeah.
good. That's good. Okay, let's do the How about something that I didn't send you, but something that I just thought of. Something that I did really love as a kid. A sort of just a quick honorable mention. Loved the Mojo Verse episode when I was a kid of the X-Men, when they all like I Dream of Jean, and they did all these different shows.
Yeah.
Now, and I just something that reminded me of that, and so a book that I love as just kind of a one shot is the X-Men 111. Put them all in this like game, like Running Man, right? And just see how they survive. And I know that the Mojo-verse stuff was a little different, but it just kind of reminds me, anytime they did a Mojo in the cartoon, 97 or this old one, it's just a one shot. You don't need to know what's going on about this. Just they're in this world right now. And then, I love one shots, guys, because there's no continuity. You don't need to know anything about these other characters. So that was just a little quickie. And because I don't have a comic for my next pick, which is in X2, the opening scene, Nightcrawler, whooping everybody's ass in the Secret Services or whatever at the White House. And it just like they just did that opening scene so well. It made me so hyped to watch that movie, X2. And so at the time, that was incredible.
Yeah,
What up, Paul? Yeah.
Still holds up. It's so crazy.
That I'm pretty sure you're gonna hear about again as we.
Oh yeah, somebody's got a good book with.
All right.
With Nightcrawler there.
Bruce.
Okay.
Bruce, you're up.
Hello.
Hello.
Let's travel back to X-Men 97.
He's reading from the script.
Do you guys remember the episode Mutant Liberation Begins? Do you remember that episode? It's episode 2.
Yep.
Do you remember this cover right here? Do you remember that moment?
We remember.
This book and this moment define Magneto right here. You got the purple suit. You got the big M. I mean, they brought that on in X-Men 97. So this book was gifted to me by our good buddy LMC. Picked up a signed copy by Chris Claremont for me. No big deal.
You didn't get that done at Terrificon, Bruce?
No, Mike did.
Cool.
I don't know if he bought it that way or he got it signed there. I don't remember the specifics on it, but this is where this is the panel where that trial begins. So if you look down here, they got the angry mob saying, kill him and all this, and then he's about to start trial on the next page. So there he is standing up there. It's very cool. Good story too. I mean, you read this book, it's it's a double-sized issue, so
they literally did it in the cartoon.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I mean, I picked some moments where I thought there would be doubles and other people would have picked these moments. So I don't know if you guys did or not, but I mean, these definitely stood out to me, and I was like, this is the reason why I got this book was because of that moment in the show. I didn't have this one as a kid, I don't think, so I didn't really know about it until I watched the show, and then I saw the book, and I was like, need to add that to the collection. So
yeah,
such a great episode for the second episode, just to
kind
of give you the gravity and what's at stakes.
Yeah,
in
it
the
throws
world,
it right in your face.
Yeah,
awesome.
Love it. Of course, it's a double-sized issue. Claremont loves to
200
pack it in there.
A big anniversary issue.
Hot dang! Look at that. So hey guys, I think my fourth pick, also the X Mansion raid in X2, because you get to see Wolverine kind of like in his best form. Yeah, dude, just taking out guys, running up the hall, following the claws, jabbing the dude in the foot and then taking him out. And Yeah, that's just the impact of that scene. I was just like, all right, the rest of this movie could be garbage. I've just seen the pinnacle.
But it was good.
It's so good. So good. X2 holds up. I mean, when the first movie came out, I was like, oh my God, they can do these movies now. Like what was on the page. And I thought, oh, they'll never be able to bring these to the big screen. Like they can do these movies now. And that was the impact it kind of had on me. And then we got Spider-Man and everything. So, but for that book, I'll one up you. I'm not going to show my giant size. You guys have seen this one, but this is a Claremont and Jim Lee signed.
Nice.
Very nice.
Terrificon.
The autographs coming out tonight.
Yeah.
Man.
Colossus and I have a tale of woe waiting for Jim Lee to sign this book.
We do.
But I nursed Colossus back from the dead like a baby bird. I brought him water. I bribed people to skip. I skipped him ahead of the line, pushed an old lady out of the line.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
No, you literally did feed him water. He was like,
He did.
Yeah, you did.
Just like that. Yep.
Yeah. I regurgitated food for him.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
It's true for me. It's true.
No, you're right. I was there. I seen it.
So my fourth moment was also, which is actually my favorite action Marvel or superhero action film or action scene ever, and that is the Nightcrawler scene from X2, the opening. So good. And I picked this recent issue of the Uncanny X-Men.
Oh yeah.
Nice, man.
Because
That is
it's
a
got
fantastic
the
cover.
thing on the cover. There's another issue of X-Men Legends. I think it's X-Men Legends. That's a really great Nightcrawler Banff Cloud cover, but I don't have that one. So this
What's the issue number on that?
number 3. This just came out in the last several months.
I gotta pick that up. That's awesome.
It's part of the current run. That's
Yeah.
All right. Back around the horn to Haden for number 3.
All right, number 3. There's a lot of love-hate with this scene because some would say that this moment ruined speedsters forever until recently in cinematic universes everywhere, and that is Quicksilver's first slow-mo scene when they're breaking Magneto out of prison. Yes. When this first came out, it was amazing, right? So much so that every speedster you basically saw from here on out, they had to do slow-mo. So
that was
awesome.
definitely my favorite part of that movie.
With exception of the Speedster and Eternals.
Yeah, that which I
And
think
that
is one of the best
changed. I
representations.
think that is what the way Speedster.
That's a good point, Travis. That they did that really, really well.
Sorry, I didn't mean to steal from that moment.
Yeah, I think that's the way going forward. That should be the standard because
I feel like you could do a nice combination of like slow motion moments and
you have them going fast and maybe like on impact go slow motion.
Yeah.
But
I know it's multiverse, but the Flash. I know that movie is not well received. The main actor is pretty terrible, but the Flash and how he like takes in protein and is able to kind of like speed up. I really like that physical implementation to it. But you're right, that scene, that Quicksilver scene. Oh my God, just so crazy. Blew the doors right off everything.
Yep. But then I also realized, perusing my boxes of comics here, that I don't have like any comic books with Quicksilver except for this singular book here, Avengers No Surrender Legacy. No, I don't even know, but it has Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver on there. It's a Mark Brooks cover. Great guy. If you ever talk to him. And then I did a little research on this book. Spoilers if you haven't read this or you plan to. I think Quicksilver dies in this. So there's your iconic Quicksilver moment, I guess, with this book.
He comes back though, right?
Of course, it's comic book.
Comics. It's comics.
Yes, very, very florally. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully, it's not kind of like OG Ultimate X-Men scenario here, but
Yeah, I love that scene. Definitely.
Great scene. Derek,
What?
number 3.
So in the season finale of the original animated series, the episode was what? Not I can't remember what it's called. Final Sacrifice? No, that's a Mystery Science Theater movie. I don't know. Anyway, destroying a master mold. I got X-Men number 16 here.
Final Decision.
Final Decision. Yes, thank you. So this is the destruction of master mold, and I loved it. If you watch the whole first season of X-Men, when it builds up to the final episode, you get all the X-Men together, and like they're all finally united, so to speak. Like Jubilee was never allowed to join in on any fights, and then she was allowed to at the final one. Magneto's involved because they know that the stakes are high. The Sentinels are coming to kill everybody. Master Mold's building all these Sentinels. They have to kill them. So all the X-Men are pretty much like agreeing it's a suicide mission, and they go and do it. In the comic book here, Boulevard Trask is the one who actually destroys Master Mold. And it's just, he realizes he's created a monster and he's got to stop it, and then he dies in the explosion. In the cartoon show, Master Mold's kidnapped Senator Kelly and wants to replace his brain with a computer and to make him a robot, because that will make him more, I don't know. So the thing that stood out for me in the show, though, was like Master Mold's quotes and Professor Xavier's quote at the end. So I wrote them down here. So
Eric,
yes.
how about you let me play it?
I cannot be destroyed. You are the living embodiment of all that is evil and unjust in humankind. You must be destroyed.
I was gonna kick a Bolivar Trask going.
Yeah, like that scene there is just, it's just this climactic finale. And Master Mold did have another quote I wanted to share here, where Trask goes, "You can't make me put Senator Kelly's brain or turn his brain to a computer. You were designed to protect humans from mutants." Master Mold goes, "That's not logical. Mutants are humans. Therefore, humans must be protected from themselves." It's just like, oh, what a great one-liner from that giant robot. But yeah, that's my number 3.
Nice.
Love it.
Thanks for the clip.
Yeah, man.
That was great.
Dan, over to you.
All right. Yes, let's go back to X2. The second battle scene, or the storming the mansion, is what is his name? Stryker's men invade the mansion, and so after being hyped up about the Nightcrawler fight scene in the White House, then the action happens in the mansion. And then we see Wolverine stabbing that guy's foot. And I think it's like the first time he's actually stabbed somebody, because in the first movie, I don't think he actually claws anybody, right? Except for maybe he like slashes Mystique or something. But anyway, and then he kills the guy. And just like Josh was saying, it's like, it was, you were like, oh my God, they actually did it. He actually killed someone. As I don't remember how old I was, but it felt really cool at the time. And I think that was just like when I was like, man, they are really doing some justice to this movie. So I was really...
That's that Berserker Wolverine.
Yes, the Berserker rage, right? So yeah, I that just something that really stuck out for me. Oh, did I have a book?
Yeah.
How about that one? Wolverine taking dudes out.
Sure.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's a perfect.
Love the 133. Okay, and then in this one, I've talked about it before, but like there's the panel where he's talking to one guy about, you know, I know what you're thinking. I don't remember the exact line, but basically, I know what you're thinking. A guy with like, you know, steak knives that like is trained to kill, you know, doesn't care if you shoot me first, like you're gonna die. And the guy just drops his gun and runs.
That's awesome.
It's great. All right.
Love it. All right. Bruce.
Hi.
Hey, Bruce.
So let's go back to X-Men 97. No, I'm just kidding. All done with X-Men.
Let's go back to my script writing.
Let's go back
The
to
X-Men 97.
8
I
months
can't have
ago.
all of my picks be X-Men 97. That'd be cheating. But the movie is called
could.
X-Men First Class. And the moment is when Magneto kills the first appearance of this guy, Sebastian Shaw. I recently picked this book up from Ryan. I actually owned this book before, but I had a Pence copy and I wanted a American version. So I ended up selling my Pence to Dan, and I got this one from Ryan. So, I mean, we're just going around here.
It's a very incestuous book there.
There it is.
Yeah.
Here's the moment.
Oh.
They filmed that scene so well. I love the profile and the cutting back and forth between Shaw's head and Professor Xavier. Oh man, it's so good.
There he is right there.
Yeah.
He's such a great villain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
I'll get
actually
there. I'm working on it.
I prefer Jason Wingard a little bit more, but you know, Sebastian Shaw, he was something else. And this book is awesome. You know, it sucks that you know, our girl here on the cover lost the Super Bowl yesterday. Her boyfriend.
Yeah.
But, you know,
She will ever
I
be
digress.
associated. Yeah.
I know, right?
No, Sebastian Shaw is so cool. Like he's just like such a classic villain that just like all he wants is power, right?
yeah, right.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, at the end of you know, that the whole you know, this whole series, he just like doesn't he just like jump out the window like, I'll get you later, you X-Men. Like
It was Jason Wingard that was trying to get with Jean Grey, right? Phoenix.
Yeah.
yeah, it is like mastermind playing a trick on her to make her believe that he was this character named Jason Wingard. Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. Though.
Curvy
I don't know,
ass.
like, how did Chris Claremont come up with this stuff? Like,
Yeah.
it was really
Psychedelic
like,
walks on the beach.
I don't
Okay.
know.
Question. Did he, you know, did he do it? Did he, you know, did it happen?
What?
Who do what?
Did Mastermind with Jean Grey?
No,
Yeah.
they didn't. No,
I mean, let's
Well,
be fair. Everyone's had
it
a
wasn't
shot.
implied or anything in the
Well,
book.
unfortunately, the Comics Code Authority,
Wouldn't this be like right?
I believe the Comics Code Authority kiboshed that, so we never really did find out if that went down.
It's insinuated.
Probably did.
There's a panel though where you look at Jean afterwards and you're like, ugh, like that's.
Ugh.
Yeah, how do you think she
I think I know
put
what
on
just happened. Yeah.
black spandex? I mean,
All right. On to Josh.
all right, let's take you guys back to X-Men 97.
Thank you.
Now, I think, you know, a lot of people, when you like think of what a great show this was and how it's, you know, could potentially be an award-winning show, it's obviously that Genosha scene, and with you know, for me, it's when Cable comes running up for like what, the 100th time and sees his mom, and then everything goes down. I didn't pick that one though. The scene that gets me most hyped and excited for the X-Men, and I want to talk about this later when we talk about the MCU and how we can like display the X-Men as a team and their power sets. It's when the Imperial Guard come head to head with the Kree and take out Ronan, and with Deathbird
Vulcan was there.
Vulcan was there. It's so
Nuts.
cool. Like all the dude. That gets me so excited because I want Cosmic X-Men. Yeah.
There you are.
It's so good. She
Yeah.
like digs her heel into his face. Like Ronan's a badass dude, but he just got taken. And Gladiator's one of my favorite, like Superman-esque OP characters, you know? Because
That
the power
is
set is like, if he believes in himself, you can't beat him. So the only way to beat him is to have him doubt himself, which, you know, he's awesome. With Mohawk and
Yeah, it's awesome.
oh.
Yeah.
But what I mean, I'll allude to it later, but I just want to see these guys. I won't even say it. I want to see this to show off their power set. Let's see him go against a
That
hive.
would be pretty
Anyways,
dang cool.
I get ahead of myself.
They could make a whole movie. You know, they could make a movie about.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. All right, where are we at? We're coming back to me, aren't we? All right. What's my number 3? My number 3 was pretty recent. Deadpool and Wolverine film came out in the summer, and we got what could potentially be the greatest moment of fan service of all time when Deadpool searches the multiverse for Wolverine. And I mean, he sees all kinds of Wolverine.
Bruce Wolverines.
Whoa.
What?
I think he just kicked himself from the chat.
I felt like he was gonna do some sort of a clip.
On
Okay.
my pad, and it sent me back to the lobby. My bad. Sorry. So he's searching for Wolverines. Where does he go? He finds Patch.
Yes.
He finds Patch in one universe.
Good call with this one.
Then he finds Wolverine on an X-Men crucifixion cross, like
go in a different direction.
In 251. And I do have. So we saw Patch. Then we saw.
That scene was so.
Yeah.
251.
So funny.
And we saw more moments, but I'm gonna save that for another time. But that whole sequence where we get Cavalrine and we get just like so good.
Comic accurate height Wolverine.
Yeah, Short King Wolverine.
The Age of Apocalypse one was my favorite. That he's just sitting
there.
Oh
yeah, and the Age of Apocalypse.
Like, oh my god, like they went that deep.
so good. All right, that's my third moment, which means we're back around the horn to Haden.
Number 2. We're going to take it to X2 and just repeat what everyone's been saying. Of course, that opening scene with Nightcrawler. Come on. How could that not be in someone's top 5? And just to pick a unique book here, I went with X-Men 204 for this splash page here.
Love that splash.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
That should have been the cover, not that
I know, like,
garbage that's on the first cover.
Like those romance novels, it's like you got the
So
hunk
bad.
with the girl draped over him on the beach or some boat. Come on now. But this, I mean.
But that whole story, that's a solo Nightcrawler story. It's so good.
I know. And I think literally on the first page, look at that, you get some Banff action. So.
It's cool.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Man,
I mean, the best part of that is when it starts like Scooby-Doo style with the doors. Like there's multiple people in the building. It's just him bouncing in between doors and hallways. I thought that was the best part.
Maybe we need a reference. Maybe we need a reference.
Yes.
Oh my God. So
That's
cool.
pretty freaking
Come
awesome.
on now. Come
So
on.
good.
It's still so awesome.
It's literally the best. Like, I mean, that's just a small clip of it, but like that is my favorite action sequence in any Marvel movie, any superhero movie. It's just
I
so
know.
good.
The best part of all of this was going on YouTube and like Googling these clips. Like, oh, dude, I can't wait to watch this again.
And when I say that, I say my favorite action sequence because I do have another action sequence that I'm going to show, but it's for other reasons. Anyways, that brings us around now to Derek.
I'll be right back.
No worries.
Okay, so this is the last. This is gonna be the last one that's involving the animated series. As a Canadian watching X-Men, to find out that there are Canadian mutants beyond Wolverine, and in fact a whole team of mutants who are familiar with Wolverine, it was pretty shocking to see that. And there was an episode called Repo Man where, and the book has already been shown, issue 109 here, where Guardian or Vindicator, whatever you want to call him, he came to take Wolverine back. And this one here I had signed by Chris Claremont, and I don't care for signatures. I have another book like this without the signature that I prefer, but I don't know, everybody likes signatures, so here's my signature one. But the thing is that this technically wasn't, like, this was the episode because it was a one-on-one battle between Wolverine and Vindicator here, but technically this is the one here. This is 121, the first battle between Alpha Flight and the X-Men. Yeah. And this is where we first meet all of Alpha Flight as well. So it's the first appearance of Alpha Flight. And they're all trying to take Wolverine back. So the episode's kind of a blur between these two, but they don't actually fight the X-Men in that episode. But to be able to see these Canadian-based heroes and, you know, growing up in Canada and, you know, as weird as it's going to sound, you know, oh, you have French, you have Native, like, oh man, this is, you have somebody who can transform into northern creatures. Okay. You know, and I guess there's a Sasquatch. Yes, I'm sure that's relevant to you. But it was just really cool to see other mutants shown in such a way, and obviously Puck is a cool dude. So these two Canadiana books make my number 2 list because just watching Wolverine fight Alpha Flight, a lot of fun. And then the whole episode itself was like, oh, Department H is just using us, and then Alpha Flight ends up joining Wolverine and taking over. Anyway, good episode.
Let's see a reference. Let's see a reference.
Yeah. You and what army?
Funny you should ask.
Alpha Flight.
Nice.
Funny you should ask.
Funny you should ask.
Knock, knock, knock.
Dan.
And then you guys have Wendigo too. So
yeah,
Wendigo.
Canada's a freaky place.
Yeah, it is.
All right. So for mine, it's the animated series, the original animated series. The episode, I think it was just a one episode with the Morlocks in the sewers. Callisto. And the battle for the authority to lead the Morlocks episode. And then they fight with like bow staffs or something in the cartoon. But it's not necessarily the fight. I think I just loved that episode so much to learn more about other mutants that are a little more freakish than the beautiful X-Men. And also that at the end, after Storm beats Callisto, she, you know, has them. She says, "Come with us in the X-Men, and you can live with us, and you know we can be amongst humans." And they're like, "That's not our place. But when we are ready, thank you for your offer," or something. I don't know. But it was just a really cool moment for me. And but this comic kind of does the fight scene really cool with these panels here. I always thought really loved those. Yeah. You know, you just see it go down. But this is with knives, man.
That episode's so cool because it really is just like the comic book coming to life. Like it's such an iconic fight. But Dan,
they switch a few characters, right? Because it's like Kitty Pryde is like, you know, being groomed, and you know, as opposed to like Cyclops. Yeah.
But Dan, I gotta ask you. You did sort of say that moment, but you called it an honorable mention to this moment, which I actually have queued up.
Oh, thank you.
Tell Cyclops I made him a convertible.
That's the one you actually told me.
Well, okay. Was that an honorable mention?
You couldn't find a book for that one.
No, I have one for that. That's my next one. That was my next one. Yeah.
You had those. You had those combined as one when you told me.
Oh, snap. Okay. Well, my bad. But hey, why don't I just do my number one right now? All right.
Yeah, just show it off.
All right. So, okay, tell Cyclops I made him a convertible. He also says, I think it's in the same episode where he's like, I go where I want to go.
Oh, yes. Multiple
times. I just like, that was one of kind of my first introduction to his personality. And it was just like, I was like, this guy doesn't take shit from anybody. And it's his own team members. And so you guys were all flexing out. So I had to, I'm going to flex too.
Oh, there you go.
Now, and then, you know, let's just, somebody scribbled on the front there. I don't know.
No big deal.
Whatever. No, but I wanted to compare that to actually Sunfire. How he's just like, I don't even want to be on this team. And like, you know, it's something to do. And I kind of feel like they were inspired by that. Because Wolverine doesn't really like, he's like, I mean, he's kind of like rude, but he doesn't really care. Like, he's not like overly dramatic in this issue at first. But Sunfire definitely clashes with Cyclops a lot there. So that was it. Just, you know, an excuse to show this again. So pull that out again. Thank you.
Is that for sale, Dan?
Maybe.
No. Bruce.
Hello, everyone. So we're gonna go.
Chris.
We're gonna go to the most hyped up movie of the summer when we were searching for a great Marvel movie. A movie right there, and we got to see a really important book in comics and also in the movie. This cover was flashed right around the moment you were talking about, Ryan. This was when they were doing.
It is in the moment. It's literally in that moment.
It literally is in that moment. I have this one at number 2 because, I mean, this is just an all-time great book. And, you know, everybody sees this and they think of Wolverine right away, the X-Men. You know, nice grade. You know, the custom label is really cool as well. But, yeah, I was really hyped to see this in the movie. And when I saw it in theaters, there it is right there. I was like, let's go. I was so happy. And, you know, it's a really important book, you know, for any collector of X-Men or Wolverine or of Hulk even, you know. So that's sliding in at number 2.
Sweet.
Let's take you back all the way to X-Men 90. No, I'm just kidding. But I didn't show that book off before, so I'll show. This was signed by Cal Dad at Granite State Comic-Con. And it's Dan, your quote there. I go where I want to go, bub.
Awesome.
Did you notice Wolverine's mask in the animated series looks like 2 Batmans kissing?
Yes.
Yes.
We played the Cal Dodd intro on the way in. Josh. So good. So good. He's a great guy. Really sweet guy. I just wanted to one-up you guys. You're showing off your giant size. This is the real first appearance of Wolverine right here. Yeah, it's an amazing Steranko cover.
Oh, it's amazing Steranko.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to have him sign this next time I see the guy. Probably run into him.
I'm hoping he's going to be at TriffCon. I'm just like crossing my fingers.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, if he shows up around here at like GraniteCon or something like that, I'll get you guys signed books or something. But the bringing Wolverine back from the dead after Logan was kind of unheard of, but to have him in this iteration and like true Wolverine form really came to life for me in the car scene. And I love how they set the car scene up in the Deadpool Wolverine movie right from the start with like, the Honda Civic, like it doesn't fucking suck, I don't have a lot of vaginal sex. And then to not want to get into it, or the Honda Odyssey. And then they have this fight, right? But before that, Wolverine really just digs in to Deadpool in such a way that's just like, oh, dude, he's a bad dude. Like, he's really trying to hurt his fucking feelings here. And you realize he's talking about himself the whole time. He's getting out all that rage, like 200 years of rage, that God's, perfect plan that he can't die, And then they get in a fight. And then there's a moment where he gives you this look, And he's in his bliss when he's just inflicting pain and receiving pain, and all the homosexual overtones that scene are just mwah, mwah, mwah. But it really just encapsulates just the violence. And for me, that's the best fight scene in the Marvel universe so far. Yeah, and he's like the Honda Odyssey really does fuck hard, but unlike you, pencil dick. And it's so good. I love it.
Earmuff, kids.
On giving. I can just put that scene on and just
love it. Yeah, no, that's an awesome part of that movie. I mean, there were lots of awesome parts, but all right. I'm up next. What's my second on my list here? Trying to find my list. Oh, how could I forget? So this could have been number one, but I had to give number one to what I did give number one. But this is truly one of the greatest moments of all time, of all X-Men, of all time. Come on, guys.
You're corrupt, like all the others.
Okay.
You must be exterminated.
Jesus Christ.
It's hilarious, of course.
Booty.
I thought somebody was gonna do that, and I just
we had to have that on here. So I brought a couple books that this one doesn't necessarily have the booty, but she's kind of like doing a booty like thing, but she's wearing the same gear. And then this is my recent Art Germ signed Art Germ fairy cover where she is showing the booty. And I mean, it's Rogue's booty. I mean, that's the gift that keeps on giving all through life, memes, gifts. It's a perfect moment in X-Men history, and that's my number two.
A Saturday moment that sent many adolescent men into adulthood.
What's that? Yes.
Yeah, there's that one. And then there's that one.
Yeah. So
that one.
Right, hold on.
Oh yeah,
that one. Too. Yeah. And what was the other one? There was one where she was doing a little booty shot, but I didn't.
Oh yeah, there is.
I didn't grab that one.
A girl don't kiss.
The Carrie Andrews cover, I think.
Sweet. You find we'll show it later.
Yeah.
So number one, some honorable mentions that I put in there. Obviously, Deadpool, Wolverine, the donning of the mask for the first time, fan serviced out, awesome. So to represent that, got this awesome Frank Miller.
I
mean, it doesn't get much better than that, right?
What happened?
Another honorable mention: the back-to-back. So Wolverine's fighting the Sentinels, defending Rogue. He's I got 6 reasons, right? And then Nightcrawler bamfs in. It's like 9, and then he has his stuff. So there's another Nightcrawler cover. But of course, my number one spot goes to the movie Logan set the scene. You know, high intensity music. All the kids are running through the woods, and then suddenly the music goes quiet, and then it goes from action-packed music to ominous, like kind of scary movie, and then all you hear is just a yell, and then it pans over to Wolverine after he takes the serum, just running through the woods, and then just goes absolutely insane in rated R fashion on all those men. I mean, that scene is like in my head when I think of like Berserker Rage Wolverine, like that's it. And I think like with it being rated R and everything, that's like one of my, well, it is my favorite like action, you know, balls to the walls moment in all of Marvel. But to show that, I was going to show this, but Stan already showed it off. So if we're all doing it, might as well show it. Giants and number 1.
Love it.
First,
and
it's
hey,
a debut on
got
YouTube.
That.
Yes.
You just got that. So big round of applause. Big round of applause.
Congratulations.
Yes, this is a YouTube debut for this, actually. So
Ooh.
On the Council of X, of course. But
that's so awesome,
dude. Great book. I saw you buy that thing.
Yeah,
that's
Magic
awesome.
Geeks. Shout out them.
Oh wow, nice.
And you really took us back with you know, re-delivering us that scene.
I just watched it on the weekend, and man, like you know what? For the longest time, I didn't love that movie for whatever reason. I think it's because it didn't have the X-Men, and like I didn't like that like Logan was dying and stuff. But like rewatching it, I was like, yeah, it's a pretty dang good movie.
Hey,
and that scene's amazing.
Hey Hayden, can you show off the book a little bit more? Why did it get a 1.8?
Oh, well, the reason I kept it so far back is if you look at the trade dress here, that is a tear with some tape on it. So
Whatever.
That and the spine's got some tape on it, but exactly from back here, you're like, dang, that looks pretty dang good.
Looks good, man.
Yeah.
The book, really not good. The grade.
Yeah,
exactly. So the way I think of this book, though, is, you know, it's like your first home, right? Your first house. It's not the forever home, but you know, I got a house.
It's entry level. It's an entry level book, man, for sure.
Exactly.
Dude, I mean, it's my favorite book. It's the best.
I know this is
the best book ever.
Yeah,
I know this is amazing. So I'm on the lookout now, just forever to be like inch my way up in the grades. We'll see.
That's how you do it, man.
Yep, gotta start somewhere.
Trade a few books, and then
I know I have a kind of a pile of books that that's what I tried to do at MegaCon. I was walking around with this, but the only copies I saw were 9.0s. I'm like,
I just did that with Aaron from A1s. He had an upgrade on an X-Men 101. I did a video, but X-Men 101 and a 94 and a 129. And I just traded them all the lower grade ones that I already had plus cash, and then I got the upgrades.
I know he has a giant size X-Men in the 3.0, I think, signed by Chris Claremont. I'm like, oh, I could shell out this and maybe a little. I don't know. I got to reach out to him.
Yeah, but I mean, you just got that one too, so like,
yeah, I know. I'm fine to let
plenty of time to enjoy that as well. There's never going to be a shortage of opportunities to upgrade to.
Exactly. No, not that book.
mean,
there's so
and
many.
That's the nature of these comics, right? They're not really rare. They're just everybody wants one.
Yeah,
exactly.
I agree.
Hey, John.
But that's it. That's my list.
All right, that's your list.
That's a good pick.
Over to Derek.
Well, here's my giant size. No, I don't have one. I have X-Men one.
Me neither.
Is that better or is that worse?
That's pretty good.
It's an X-Men one.
That's comparable.
Pretty good.
Ryan, do you have a clip for this one? Or do you have, and if so, do you have the real life one or the cartoon one?
I have the real life one.
Okay, so then I will preface this. So this is my number one, and the reason why it's my number one is because this is, I honestly think, the first time I saw internet meme culture get on the silver screen. It is from X-Men 3, X-Men United. It is Ryan.
Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut, bitch!
So I don't know if you guys know this, but that line is actually a meme from the cartoon show that somebody redubbed. And so in
Which
the
is
Phoenix
excellent,
Saga,
by the way.
pardon?
Which is excellent. Like
Yeah.
the original is so good.
I don't know if did any of you guys know about the original cartoon like meme for that? Yes, no. Okay, so you can find it online. It's just the Juggernaut bitch, and it was on.
Yeah.
And so it was on. It takes place over the Dark Phoenix Saga, where Xavier. It's over these two issues technically, X-Men 102 and 103. Because what happens in the cartoon show doesn't actually happen in the comics, but it's Juggernaut showing up on Muir Island, grabbing Lalandra because Eric the Red wants Lalandra, and he has to beat down Xavier. But like somebody redubbed that scene. It's like, don't you know who I am? The Juggernaut, man. What are you trying to do to me? You can't do anything.
No,
and he's just like smacking Lalandra. He's like, come on, bitch. What are you trying to do?
Yeah,
and
I remember that.
So that's the whole meme, and it was around for a while. And I remember I took my mom to see X-Men 3, and she knew that meme. And her and I were both sitting there in theaters, and we both just lost our minds because we both were like, we just saw the internet come to real life, and it was. I don't know if there's another time or if there's something earlier where meme culture actually came into real life, and so. It's my number one because it's such a culture. It's such a big cultural moment, I guess, for me. But it may actually be a big cultural moment.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that was like early, like 2002, maybe 2003,
something like that.
Out. It was like early ages of internet. And
it's early YouTube, early internet, maybe even predates YouTube.
Yeah, I think it would be like E-Bombs World stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember
just that have that on the movie. It was just like, oh my god, I can't believe that. Yeah, Cheddar's got that. Yeah, Chris, like I can't believe they just threw that in there. And so it's my number one because hot damn, it's funny. If you haven't seen it, just jump on the YouTube and just Google "I'm the Juggernaut bitch."
I will just say, like, given we live in 2025, it is very not of this time. So
no.
If you're triggered by like non-political correctness, don't go watch it, but it's certainly super nostalgic.
Play the triggered GIF.
And it's just wild to see something like now. The internet is so entwined with what goes on TV and movies, but like I never saw it. I'd be hard pressed for somebody to come up with something earlier than that showed up in a movie of that size. The movie was garbage, but that was like the little silver lining of it.
The movie had a couple moments here and there, but overall it wasn't a good film. But
I think maybe if Gene would actually not been a stick figure the whole time.
They didn't kill Cyclops. Multiple Men did multiple men things.
All those
Juggernaut
things.
Wasn't garbage. I mean, you can go on.
Yeah, all those things. All right. Who's up next? Dan. Dan is up next.
Yeah, but I already did my.
Oh yeah, you're right. You did do. You did have one other moment that you.
Oh, okay. What was it?
I'll just bring up the. Dan also had the moment of the bar scene in X1 with Wolverine. Cage fighter, but then also, being asked to leave the bar, and it's the first time his claws come out. Pretty cool moments as well. All right, so then after that, it's Bruce. Bruce, your last moment.
I just wanted to say, Derek, that pick was phenomenal, man. Like that made me laugh so hard that you took that. Because that brought back so many memories.
I was so happy when Derek gave me that list, and that was on there. I was like, "Oh, I love that moment."
And that's one of my favorite X-Men books. And when he told me he had something to do with that, like, and he just revealed it. I don't know. It just made me like inside. I am laughing so hard right now. It's awesome.
Very good.
So let's go all the way back, guys. All the way back before X-Men 97. Forget about X-Men 97. That's today. No, we're going all the way back. This is like preseason. All right, we're going all the way back to X-Men animated series, the original. You're sitting in your living room. It's Saturday morning. You got Fruit Loops or whatever you want to eat for breakfast. You're about to sit down. You're about to watch this brand new show called X-Men. You don't know what that is. You're trying to ask your mom, where did this come from? You're seeing memes, whatever. So you watch the first episode, and it's these Sentinels, and they're invading this town, and you see Jubilee, and you're like, what is that? Well, that reminds me of this book right here, X-Men 98. Probably one of the better covers for X-Men.
Yep.
Chris Claremont era. I picked this book up at Terrificon. Dan and Colossus were right next to me. Speaking of Colossus, I mean, look at him right there. That's just awesome.
I love that book.
Yeah, me too. Like, he just looks sick. And then there's another really awesome Sentinels cover right here. This is X-Men number 202. Yep. Fighting in the snow. I mean, Sentinels, man.
Why don't we show that moment?
Right.
Dog.
The poor mutant dog.
Nothing more evil than kicking puppies.
Right. I love that episode. I love Sentinels are just such an important part to X-Men. I mean, what's not to love? So I had to go with this as my number one. I kind of didn't do things in order, but then I was like, this definitely is number one. Like, this is X-Men right here. A cover like this, somebody sees this, they don't even know what X-Men is. They're going to recognize it right away.
So I have a book that's kind of a tie-in to the Rogue one and your Sentinels one. This is a cover of X-Men Classic, number 106. So there's your Rogue, and then there's your Sentinel damage, and everybody likes Lewd Rogue. So there we are.
Lewd Rogue.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
X-Men Classic 106.
Love it. All right. Josh.
My number one scene, I think, is a scene that kind of I was alluding to earlier, saying like, oh my God, the X-Men on the big screen. They've finally done it. And I was really upset that Hugh Jackman was cast. I was like, who is this Australian who is 6'2"? Wolverine's this little tiny guy, short king. And then from the opening scene, I was like, all right, yeah, this guy has that Wolverine, that Logan-esque, but by the end of the movie, and they're not suited up, and finally they suit up, and he says, what did you expect? Yellow spandex? And the animated series goes, what did you expect? Leather? Yeah. Well, we have the Statue of Liberty scene. And when Wolverine is fighting Sabretooth on the top of the Statue of Liberty, and he gets knocked back, and his claws, go around, and
Josh,
they do their Matrix scene,
Hey, Josh,
Yeah.
why don't we take a look at it?
Hey.
It's awesome.
CGI is so bad.
Oh yeah.
And we got that in the trailer. That was like
off too. Even
we got that in the trailer, and even going and seeing it happen, you're like, yeah. Ah! It was I like the feeling that I had then is just like I remember feeling like this world is my Matrix. Like, this is my Truman Show because they're making the stuff for me. And after X-Men 97, I still kind of feel the same way. You guys are kind of all actors in my Truman Show. So thank you. Hope they pay you well. Yeah, they pay Derek more, but I get. No, but like that scene is just forever will be the X-Men movie and scene for me. And I might as well just do this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
this
just
is
love
my upgrade. I had a really
What
low
have I
grade one, and I
What have I
traded it
started?
up.
Love it.
Nice.
Love it. All right. My number one moment could have been the booty.
Well,
Could have been
I'm gonna ask
booty.
you a question. Colossus,
Yeah.
That's
I
for your
have
number
something
one.
to show,
Oh, you have
I've been
something to
working
show.
on
All right. Well,
and I want to know if you don't. I don't want to steal your thunder. So you
We don't
can't-
want to see your
a
booty.
big moment, right? Let you be the last one. Well,
all
anyway,
right.
so
All right.
one of my favorite scenes in all of X-Men stuff. I was trying to figure out which character I was. You know what? I love in X-Men First Class when Magneto is ripping the submarine out of the ocean and ripping out the nuclear missiles. It just really always spoke to me. I wish I had that comic, which I don't, so I can't share that. I do have a couple Magneto books I brought to share. X-Men #1, like everybody else is showing their X-Men #1. This is my X-Men #1. And then, in X-Men #1, the Amazing Adventures version. But since I wasn't able to contribute as much to the show, I figured I should contribute something. Since Bigby's not here to draw, so I figured I should just probably draw something.
Nice.
How about a Magneto?
Woo.
No.
Love it.
Love it.
There we go. That's my X-Men
Well,
moment.
we appreciate it. We
And I
appreciate
really like. I personally like him as Magneto. The guy from I can't think of his name. The guy from the First Class and those early X-Men.
Michael Fassbender.
I like him better. I have to say than Gandalf. And it's just
Yeah,
the
I
way the
agree.
actor portrays himself. I just feel like he's a better character, a better Magneto.
I agree. I mean, like, not to take anything away from Ian McKellen, who was really great in the role. I prefer a little bit less elderly Magneto. Although I know he's old, and it, like, logically it makes sense, but like we've always just seen him like jacked, and I just like a little more of a gravitas and strength to him. But we'll see if we get that. I don't know.
Yeah, Anna
There's rumors
Paquin
that
and Ian
Denzel
McKellen
Washington
making
might-
out. Oh, I don't know.
Denzel might be Magneto according to rumors.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know if that'll happen, but all right. My number one moment is pretty obvious. If you know me, it's this one.
Yeah.
Or Colossus versus Juggernaut. This, of course, and Derek showed it, but I'm showing it for different reasons. For the battle, the first one-on-one, Colossus versus Juggernaut. Then you had the second Colossus versus
That's the one.
Juggernaut.
That is such a good story.
Such a good story and such a good fight.
You fucked up with Kitty Pryde. Now go fight the Juggernaut.
You know what's crazy though? So like Juggernaut and Colossus, I mean, they've been depicted in statues and all kinds of things fighting. They're like a classic matchup. This is the second time they fought. You know when the next time they fought? You know how long it was until the next time they fought?
What?
Oh
wow, yeah.
That they didn't fight for decades until
That's crazy.
Until this. I just found that out.
Huh.
It's wild. And they've actually in comics only battled 4 or 5 times.
It's like Hulk and Juggy too.
Unless some more recent, like maybe in the last 5 years, like I don't know the articles I was reading when I was researching it, how up to date they were. But yeah, like not a lot of times, which is pretty crazy.
That's awesome.
That makes sense.
I'm going to guess that there's probably going to be some conflict with him being on an X-Men, Juggernaut being on an X-Men team and Colossus not. Right? So in this current series. So
They seem quite deliberately trying to phase him out right now. Like like Hickman's turning him into villains in everything he writes, and then in the regular continuity, they're like he's apparently showing up in the X-Force book this month, but I think he's going to be some kind of antagonist who's going to have once again be under the control of some other villain. And like, I don't know what the heck they're doing. It's like,
well, I mean, the X-Force storyline though, it kind of takes them into like some sort of multiversal type stuff going on there. So it could be a Colossus from another multiverse.
Could totally be, or it could be a copy or some kind of illusion or something. We talked about it on a previous X-Men when I did the whole Unsolved Mysteries thing. Like, he did show up as a little tease, his hand playing chess with magic back in like X-Men 4 or whatever. But like that was like 4 or 5 months ago. They still haven't, like, there's still no sign. So I don't really know what's going on with him. But
the new cover, there's a cover that comes out this week with Colossus on the cover with magic. It's Magic issue number 2 has Colossus the Magic on the cover.
Well, I'll probably be picking that up.
I think it's the 1 in 10. So,
but we'll have to see if he shows up in the story or if it's just one of those covers.
Let me see if I can find it too. That might be sure.
It's interesting because Colossus feels so, at face value, kind of like just the muscle, one-dimensional. But I feel like he's a really untapped reservoir as far as a character in character development. So maybe we should do a show where we all come up with an original storyline for our favorite characters or something.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. It's a lot of work for everybody, but
yeah.
I'm ready.
Just getting us here is work, right?
Yeah, yeah. But hey, man, if you guys want to do it, I'm down.
Yeah.
We'll all write a Colossus story.
Oh, I'm out then.
Oh. What Derek will just like warp it into another like you could start it with Colossus and just warp it into
suddenly he's Archangel. Whoops.
Some other character, which is fine. So everybody's got a preference. Anyway,
make him into dupe.
I was gonna say like that. I was gonna segue by saying, all this kind of minimizing of my favorite character recently doesn't give me a lot of hope that we're going to be seeing him in the MCU come this new era of X-Men. You never know, but we'll see. What I wanted to have a quick little talk about before we wrap it up is just like, what do you guys want to see happen with the MCU? We know X-Men's coming. There's lots of rumors in the rumorverse about casting and what characters are being casted. What's kind of your guys' hope for this, other than what Derek said earlier, which was a good movie? That's kind of stating the obvious. Hoping they're good and well done, but like story-wise, character-wise, what do you guys want to see? Anybody can jump in.
Yeah, for me, I want to know where they've been, right? First and foremost, and how they're going to integrate, the X-Men. Are they going to pull them in from another universe? Are they just going to play homage, to the old guard, and then bring in like this fresh new young team, and then from there, like, what's the storyline going to be? What's the who are the characters they're going to bring? And I think the biggest thing for me is like, how are they going to get across the stakes of X-Men? And right, that humanity hates and fears them, yet they try. Anyways, we all know that the X-Men story. How do they bring the gravity of all that, and not pull any punches? Because let's just say they've always been pertinent to the disenfranchised, and I think it's how do they bring that to the big screen? And I would love them to to cut to the quick. We have seen 2, maybe 3 iterations of the Dark Phoenix that have just been terrible. They just fell so short of giving us that. In the Dark Phoenix movie, right there, they could have the Shi'ar Empire just kind of like the Imperial Guard bust through, and that movie could have been amazing, But of course, they just made that. They didn't have the budget. But I want to see, like I was saying earlier, space. I want to see the Shi'ar Empire. I want to see the X-Men on the cosmic scale eventually, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think moving into that phase, we'll get like the grounded team, and then cosmic side of everything. But what I really want to see is like how do they showcase that what a team they are. And I know Kevin Feige will do it well. What I don't want to see is them rush casting Wolverine. And here's my hot take: just bring Laura Kenny in as the Wolverine on the team for a while. She's great. She's wonderful. We'll have Old Man Logan in there for a while, and then they can build towards the Weapon X.
Well, Josh, I agree with you on this. I think though what you're saying may be the way they go. I mean, Brian and I kind of speculated. Brian, Bigby, McFly, speculated that they were going to do the opposite with of No More Mutants, like they did in A versus X, and have Scarlet Witch say, "Return the mutants," right? And that was kind of one of the thoughts we had. Which then you wouldn't have to. You would have all these characters showing up, and you'd have to figure out what do we do with them, right? And where do they go? And I think that might be an interesting way to introduce them. I personally like the space storyline, with especially us going into this idea where we're going to have Battle World, and we're going to have a Secret Wars. That I think it would be interesting if we have the X-Men in the Shi'ar Empire, and then all of a sudden the universe implodes and everybody's trapped on Battle World, and that's where we end up with, we start seeing the X-Men showing up. They're still a team because they're coming in from space with part of the Shi'ar and part of all the different the Kree and all these things. And then all of a sudden when they come out of this and they rebuild the universe, I could totally see the idea of them injecting an X-Men storyline from a space perspective and then bringing it back to Earth, because they're coming home and realizing home didn't exist anymore, right? And that they have to rebuild their home, which then would give the fear aspect to it, right? You would have that fear, and you'd have this weird, why are these people here? Where did they come from? Why are they a part of our culture now? Why are they a part of our world? And it would be this, you could instill that fervor of the stakes of that. And I think that would be an interesting way of doing it.
As much as I would love to see space, because I love that, and the Shi'ar Empire and everything. I just think for a movie, it's just too much to pack in, or all the things that we want to pack it all in. I think I'm coming from the approach of I just am afraid. I'm on in defensive mode. I don't need everything. I just want to not screw it up. And of course, I want the giant size X-Men team. But I mean, I guess I just got to have faith in the process, I hope, and set the bar low, because that's what happened with Josh Sasquatch. You were talking about that opening scene with Wolverine and X in the first X-Men movie. That proved to so many people who thought that Hugh Jackman couldn't play Wolverine, including me, that it blew me away. And I was like, you know what? I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to casting folks and having them play roles if they don't, do the part. So I'm just hoping that, and I agree with you also, Josh, I think that the most important thing for this movie is to have it, the whole mutant idea and how society sees mutants, have it relate to the people who are watching the movie. Because I think it is there's so many connections that they could go, and so many people can relate to the situation, especially with, the way the political atmosphere is going, and everybody's getting more tense and everything. And it's I think that we all feel we can relate to the characters, and as long as they can communicate that well, I think it should be good.
I think I want and then it really depends on how they're gonna roll out this new X-Men saga out of where they're gonna be in the multiverse saga, rolling it out of this past existing established universe and world. That's really going to depend on a lot of on what they do is going to really depend on that. You know what I mean? Because if they come, if they reset the world after Secret Wars, and then they can just start fresh, and they don't have to be be locked into what's transpired previously. But I don't think they could completely do that, because they're going to have a Fantastic Four team that just got established. It's not like they're going to restart that, you know what I mean? And they're going to have these legacy characters. So they're going to have to kind of come up with some sort of way of explaining how some characters are new and some characters are recast, and then some characters are the old characters, or the characters that were established prior to Secret Wars. It's going to be a really interesting, and I'm a little nervous about it, because it seems kind of scary to think about the mishmashing, but maybe they'll find a good way of explaining that. But if they're starting fresh with a new team, are they established, or are they going back from square one? Are they just got their powers and now they're becoming a team? That will dictate their age and dictate kind of where they start off. I'd love to see cosmic stuff, but you can't start with cosmic stuff with a brand new team. They have to be established, I think, before you could go there. So it's hard. I'm struggling to figure out what I want to see, because I just don't know how we get to a place where they're established, right? Without knowing what the MCU is going to do.
Yeah.
Because what I want to see is I want to see grown badass X-Men that kick ass and fight these awesome villains that they have. I don't want to go through a first class again. I don't want to go through teenagers learning their adolescent powers, and I don't know. I feel like we've been there. They just did that, and it was the casting wasn't good, and I didn't like.
Yeah, what if they showed up and they're they're just already established, and it's oh shit, here's the X-Men. Y'all know who they are, right?
But they gotta do that right. Confusing. You don't want it to be confusing to your audience, and that's what I'm hoping doesn't happen. You know, like me, my my knowledge with X-Men isn't as great as everybody here, but when I'm watching the movie and I could watch it with my wife, who doesn't even know what that is, I'm hoping it presents well to somebody who doesn't really know what the X-Men are and want to learn more, and it's not going to overwhelm them with all this too much backstory and this and that and jumping around.
And that's why I'm a little nervous about if they incorporate other Marvel characters into X-Men, because I was always brought into X-Men as its own standalone kind of universe. And I know they all exist together, but to understand the story of the X-Men and the way that Sasquatch, what was the term that you used? You were talking about the gravitas of the mutant existence or something,
humanity, fears and hates us, yet they fight for humanity.
Yeah, there's no, sorry, continue.
No, it just goes into this whole thing. I want to give everyone an opportunity. So there's I want to make my guesses, but so I'll let other people talk, but this is so exciting to think and talk about and speculate.
It's actually going to happen. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy. But I think the important question for me is how do they, establish mutants being feared and hated? How do they bring that to the big screen?
The oppression.
How are they going to do it?
Yeah. Yeah, because I definitely think that's what they need to hit on. Because I think we're about to see here with Fantastic Four, right?
Yeah.
And other movies going forward, that you don't need to have everybody's first introduction be an origin story. Just from the Fantastic Four trailer, the Thing is the Thing, and that's just the way it is. The team already has their powers. You don't have to go through the whole origin story and kind of the movie will be mainly focused on how they get there, opposed to
Yeah.
classic
You can-
origin stuff.
Well, you're right, and we can look at Spider-Man and see that is, Homecoming, or Spider-Man: Homecoming, first one. It wasn't an origin story, but so the character is established. We get that his own movie comes in, and it was fantastic. I mean, it was.
You can learn their history through the dialogue of the characters.
Yeah.
You can learn the history from remember when this thing happened, and little flashback. That's enough. I feel like,
Yeah,
Right.
because I think society, the way it is now, I mean, everyone understands. You don't need a reason to know why people have superpowers. I mean, I'm watching a comic book movie.
Give a taste to the new people coming in, and also give a homage to the old school guys like us that know about X-Men. You don't need to start off with an origin story like you guys were saying. Like, give us like where they've been and what's going on, and some awesome fight scenes, and it's gonna be a hit.
And you'll learn about it as the movie plays.
But the one thing that we definitely need is the Savage Land, and just toss Rogue in there.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe
That's
Colossus.
another
Maybe
great place
Colossus.
to
Standalone Savage Land. Yeah.
Yeah,
That would
give
be
me
a
that
cool
Disney
place
Plus
for-
show.
They're bringing back, it seems pretty clear that they want to, I mean, at least the rumors are pretty heavy that they're bringing back Hugh Jackman beyond this Secret Wars era, and that he's going to stick around for a while.
Till
That's
he's
cool.
80.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But I feel like, okay, if you're going to do that, maybe you don't establish a new Wolverine right off the bat, but does he have to be in this same universe, or could he maybe be left over from his universe, where they plucked him from for Deadpool or whatever, but now maybe he's doing little Elseworld or side stories, just hanging out with Deadpool, or he's in the Savage Land, things like that, where you could do some really cool Wolverine solo stories, and he doesn't really have to have anything to do with the X-Men thing going on, parallel to it. I kind of would like to see that, because if you're gonna go a younger team like Wolverine, Hugh Jackman Wolverine's like you said, he's 55 or 60.
Yeah, he's grandpa.
It's weird, right? So
wait a second though. Wolverine is already that age when he joins the X-Men, right? I mean, he's a couple hundred years old.
I agree, but he's not. Does he look like that old? He is older, slightly older than the other members, for sure. But he's not 60.
Looking.
In looking,
He doesn't look 60.
Yeah.
I have a brain ninja thing for how Hugh Jackman ages, yet he shouldn't be aging so much, is because every time his mutant healing factor has to kick in and he takes damage, it ages him.
Yeah, it's like the special move when you press all the buttons down on the arcade and it takes some of your life away. Yeah.
Well, you can also play off the adamantium slowly poisoning them too, which is what they already did, right, with Logan. So you could have that. So yeah, there's ways to do it. I'm not saying you couldn't do it. I'm just, I'd like to see a new take on Wolverine personally. I love Hugh Jackman. I'd love to see more Hugh Jackman, but when it comes to a whole new X-Men team, I would love to see a little bit younger, a little bit maybe more comic accurate Wolverine.
Right. Somebody to take the torch a little bit. Can't do it forever. The guy's got to break a hip eventually.
Well, they can do lots of things with CGI.
Well, 100%.
Same with Robert Downey Jr. as Doom now, or even Iron Man.
You're right. You're
do that forever, right?
You're right.
Yeah, I think. I mean, this is kind of one of my speculations, is that they're gonna. I think the what it'll be is that Wolverine's team it'll be Wolverine's team. He's gonna build a new X-Men team. That's kind of the implication I get, right? Because everybody died, right? He killed everybody in his universe, and so he is Old Man Logan in a way.
So no Xavier,
huh?
So no Xavier. He just does. He's the one.
Well, I don't know if we get an Xavier. I mean, unless we get, I'm just saying that perhaps what we get, because Wolverine already has kind of been established in the Deadpool universe, he builds his X-Men team out of the Deadpool universe with Laura as his Wolverine, and he is, he's the guy, right?
Yeah.
And then kind of builds a team around that, and then you could have Rogue, and you could have Gambit come back, and you could have all these other characters who we just got established that are new, that everybody are really hot for. We can get those characters in there, and then it would be people that Wolverine fights. It would be training. We get Kitty Pryde. I mean that's and then Storm. Then we have the relationship between Storm and Wolverine, and that love story.
Colossus.
That's my favorite X-Men love story.
Yeah, I love that story. I think those two characters together are amazing characters to be together.
Claremont Arrow would be
That's my favorite romance in the X-Men.
I'm not
Yeah. I'm also partial to the Hickman thruple.
The Hickman thruple.
One thing though, I hope they do.
Check out this cover, this variant cover. If that's not like a knowing Wolverine, look, that's just something.
Oh wait, hold on, there's glare. Show me. Oh yeah.
Okay, hold on. I gotta make you big.
The cup of Joe.
Yeah, Wolverine's having his coffee. He's like, oh yeah, I'm tapping that shit too.
Definitely Tim Hortons.
Look at how Jean's looking at Wolverine like she's like, oh man, I have the life.
Happy
We gotta bring that to the MCU.
But I would love to see, like you guys said, I'd love to see the Claremont team, but I don't think we're gonna get it. I think we're gonna get some like mishmash team, even just based off of the rumors. Like
getting a mishmash, yeah.
There's a lot of rumors of Jean, Cyclops, and Kitty, and then Gambit. And then if you got Gambit, you got Rogue. So now you're just all over the place.
And Storm, a lot of casting.
Storm.
I like the rumor of this team.
A lot of people say team. A lot of people say 90s, the 90s team.
You think they would bring out the white paint?
Yeah, you're missing Colossus though. Throw him in there.
Well, he ends up being a part of that team.
We're not getting Colossus. If we get a Colossus, it'll be like down the line, like he'll join movie 2 or 3 or 4 or something like that. But
whatever they do, I hope they don't make. Even though he's my favorite character, I don't hope it's not like the Wolverine show or just one person and then everyone's kind of a side character. I want it to be like a team movie.
A lot of rumors are that they won't have a Wolverine right out the gate.
Yeah, or any character. I kind of want it to be team centric. Kind of like how each movie with the Guardians, like it's kind of they're all there. They all have their moments. But like the third one's it's really kind of a Rocket movie, and the first one are more like a Peter Quill movie. So I want it to where everyone on the team kind of gets their own showcase, and then it's not just one person kind of being the powerhouse, which will probably end up what happens. It'll be whatever fans dictate.
But that is what the X-Men is. It's like they can never individually overcome the obstacle. They have to figure out how they can work together to overcome it.
Yeah.
Fastball special.
And we need an Angel on the team, right?
No.
Always Angel, please.
Always
Archangel.
That would be a great story to go from Archangel.
No, don't give us his backstory. Just give us Archangel.
Just Archangel. Boom, done.
Yeah.
Not to put you on the spot.
Krakoa era. Let's just do Krakoa.
Yeah. No. Oh. Mwah.
I don't know about that.
Thank you.
No, at least the Hickman part, not necessarily the Dugan part. Sorry.
Derek is sitting there in a very sinister way.
Am I?
Did someone say?
You just have that readily available.
Yeah.
I have the box next to me. I always do.
Speaking of sinister, the rumor is Javier Bardem is
being
sexy
courted
That could be a really cool way to kind of bring the fear of the X-Men. Like Sinister has done something to bring mutants in a way that just scares everybody through genetics.
Well, I mean, although it's the Black Panther movie, right? The Wakanda movie, we do have Namor. And Namor was pretty scary as a character. And it could they could twist that, and Sinister could be twisting that. The nations need to be careful. There's this whole underwater mutant culture that's going to kill us. And then we start seeing other mutants. Oh, Marvel Girl, she's a mutant. I mean, she saved people, but now she's off in space and she comes back. We could use this stuff. I mean, it could very well pull the little tidbits that are okay in these movies out and use them to rocket off evil mutant ideas.
Yeah, I think then that Namor bit, I can see where they could spin that, where if like word gets out to the public that these people are kind of like that guy, and it was a whole big ordeal, and then they start associating. Yeah, like somebody's never seen a mutant, they immediately just think, oh, it looks like an Atlantean or something, and then they're like,
right.
Oh,
Exactly.
My only hole that I would poke into that is that now, like that movie's already been out for a while.
Yeah,
and we're gonna go through all this Secret War stuff. It's just such a long call back to like that movie for fans. Like I feel like any kind of setup, they're probably gonna do it off of like the last few movies, Secret Wars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they're all kind of fresh, but you never know. They're coming out with the Cap movie, and they're finally addressing the dead celestial in the ocean. So,
right.
I mean, I guess we could get long callbacks or throwbacks to past.
Well, yeah, I mean the Wakanda movies after that movie, so
there you go.
So
yeah,
who knows what they'll do? I've heard rumors that they're gonna possibly bring Jonathan Majors back. I saw that's a recent thing too. we had a chat about that in one of the IG chats I'm in, but yeah, I think that's not like he's coming back to be like a huge big bad again. It's more to like wrap up his story and kind of like more cleanly phase into Doctor Doom and like the end of this saga, rather than just be like, oh, Kang's gone, type of thing. It would be good if they could wrap it up a little bit more and give us some backstory.
Doom and time travel and all that stuff. That would be a really easy way to wrap up.
Yeah, but it'd be great if you had Jonathan Majors that like have like a few scenes where Doom like kills the Council of Kang or something like that. You know what I mean? Like somehow he gets neatly pushed out as opposed to just like cut out like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they do with Doom as they were going to do with Kang. And, have Doom as the guy. We all know that Battle World is coming, right? So,
well, we hope Battle World's coming, but
yeah, I mean, I feel like that's kind of a given, right? But you're right. Like we hope. But how are they going to tie in all these different franchises into, a soft reboot? That's the other, rumor. Mm-hmm. And now we get X-Men in the MCU, and perhaps we're already getting clues in that. That Kang created the sacred timeline. So perhaps he took pieces out of the timeline, like Doom, like the Fantastic Four, like the X-Men, because mutants are too meddlesome and too much to manage on the sacred timeline. So Doom, having been been outed at some point, brings in the original sacred timeline. And we get views of how the X-Men have always been there, from the 60s, and how the Fantastic Four, and how we all, the world forgot that there was an age of heroes before the Avengers. That'd be fucking dope.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. That would be like the Sentry, right? The storyline, how the Sentry comes back into the Marvel Universe in the comics.
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Paul Jenkins' story, that was pretty awesome. I mean, that was a great way of telling that story. Like, we didn't know who this guy was, and then all of a sudden the memories are coming back and everybody's seeing who he was. It's like, and he was all these different eras of the Sentry. So
There's also Franklin Richards, you know, if he's going to be part of this upcoming saga too, like will he be the one who stitches the universe back together or the timeline back together? He's a mutant himself. Does he create mutants or cause mutations, or I don't know, like there's lots of
Is he a mutant?
well,
He's been retconned.
depends
now.
on who you
I
talk
don't
to,
know
I
that
guess.
that's true.
Well, they've retconned it, and then it's
I think his reality shifting powers allow him to be whatever he wants to be honest with you. And I think that
I like to think of him as a mutant, but it's
Yeah.
will they make him a mutant in the MCU is the question.
Most likely. And you know, it's the same idea that, you know, with Spider-Man and Mary Jane getting married and having and their daughter, right? Mayday Parker, she's a mutant. We find that out in Renew Your Vows. That's how they describe her. So it seems like if your parent had a power and you get married and they have a child, the child is a mutant rather than of that whatever you were. So I think that's an interesting thought, that interesting takeaway. I mean, that would make sense with the whole Franklin Richards idea of him being a mutant, was because his parents had been mutated. Now he has the X gene, so which is interesting.
You can spin it so many ways, because there's a story out there that basically like makes everybody mutants, because I know like there's one story out there that because the spider bit Spider-Man, it actually activated his X gene and he's actually a mutant. So
yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, that was the Earth X story, right? That was kind of that idea that the planet protects itself, is protecting the growing celestial inside, right? So the planet's all these heroes popping up is because it has to protect itself for the celestial. So
maybe that's a dark current that we don't see, is that the Eternals have actually been killing mutant babies the whole time.
what a way to put a positive spin on the Eternals.
No, I mean, you're right. A versus X versus E, right?
It's rumored.
The mutants are deviants.
They got to save the Eternals some way.
That or just sweep them under the rug. We'll see. I mean, we could go on and on. There's so many routes and things that could happen. Good thing is we're gonna find out because the movies are coming out.
Yep.
You know, we got 3 lined up this year, and we'll see if we get any more clarity, any teases, anything. We'll see. Guys, thank you for popping in tonight. Had a great show. You guys are awesome for giving me all your top 5s in advance. I appreciate that. Just want to give you guys each a chance to say what's going on with you or your channels or sales on whatnot, whatever you got going on. Let's start with my guy Josh right here.
Hey, sorry I showed up late to the show today. I love you guys so much. I'm so glad you do this, Ryan. I've been selling comic books on Whatnot on Sundays, 10 a.m. Eastern. Come join me, even just to kind of pop in and say hi. I know Haden's been there, and Travis, you guys have been there helping the algorithm. I love it, loving people show up, and it's one of those things where
I would show up, but Sunday mornings I just can't.
Oh yeah, I get it. Yeah. You fucking better be there, man. All you motherfucker. No, I'm just kidding. No, but it's been really great. And yeah, just kind of doing that. I'm finishing up school. I'm in cosmetology school. I finish up in March. So if you guys need your hair cut to look like Wolverine or something like that.
Yeah.
Can you
make
do
it
something
happen?
with that?
Yeah. Oh, hey, whew, my man.
So hair, but
yeah, I love it. I love it. So, hey, guys, take a second and like go on my my Facebook or something like that, and Instagram, and check out Nightmare at Nana's. I got cast in a movie, a full-length, feature-length film called Nightmare at Nana's. It's described as a horror comedy with a heart and only a minimal amount of cannibalism. And I'll be playing the muscle. I'm actually started my workout routine to get in shape to play a very villainous, ominous character named Bobby, who has no tongue. So you don't have to worry about hearing this voice at all in the film. So that right there should be reason
You're just
to go, go check out the page, donate if you can, spread the word. We're going to make this awesome horror comedy right here in the hills of Vermont. Start filming in July.
Cool.
eye candy. Josh is the eye candy.
Ooh!
Yeah.
Bring some guttural Sasquatch to the film. You just wait.
Bruce.
So I've been thinking about starting back up the YouTube channel. So I'm gonna do a mixture of comics and toys. So
Yeah.
it won't be one or the other. It'll be just both.
Up North Comics and Toys.
Yeah, dude. I mean, why not? Up North Collectibles. So I've been thinking about that. I didn't know how it was going to be with the newborn that we just had on Saturday.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
right.
So
Yep.
I have 2 boys now, and my house is going to be crazy, but he's sleeping good, and things are going really well. So I don't see why I wouldn't have time to do the YouTube thing. So, but right now the issue is money because I've been busy this week that I've had off from work. Well, actually almost 2 weeks, but I bought a new car today, so I'm gonna have to slow down on spending a little bit. But it was needed for the family, so you got to do what you got to do.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Happy for you, man. Congrats.
Thank you.
Dan.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say shout out to Bruce with the new baby. And then also that I know Haden just got back from MegaCon, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So I thought that was really cool.
Thank you for rocking the t-shirt and repping the
yeah, man.
Haden.
Yes, I had lots of compliments, especially from Ultimates writer Dennis Camp. I don't remember how to pronounce his name. And he's also going to be writing some DC stuff too. I don't know, it's really cool meeting like all these creators, especially the ones that didn't have like not big names. You can sit there and talk to them. Like one of the guys I met was Tim Sheridan. He writes, what does he write now? He wrote some Teen Titans stuff. But he originally, before that, he was like show writing for like all the DC animated movies you see on HBO Max. So he was like giving me some like inside details. But yeah, it was a super cool experience to do all that. No, I guess is it my time to start plugging, I guess?
I don't know. Dan, did you have
go
anything
for it.
more?
I don't got it. I don't have anything. I'm in my sweatpants, just sitting in my home.
Dan and I just had a
Waiting
sale
for the
on
phone
Friday. Just want to thank everybody who popped in, said what's up, bought stuff.
Yeah,
went really well. So shout out to Dan who's shipping out a lot of books coming up here. So thank you, Dan, for
Doing all the
making it
work.
happen with me, man.
The guy's intro on that show is just chef's kiss.
Oh,
thank
dude,
you.
Ryan's a master.
Yeah, you are.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can attest, it was very good. I was at MegaCon, very tired. I was like, let's start buying stuff. But yes, MegaCon, I did it. I recorded some stuff. I've been editing this video today. I've been on a bit of a hiatus, but went a little crazy there. Bought some like stuff like this original page.
Thanks, Matt.
Sweet.
Oh, wow.
Bunch of signed books.
Is that an original? What is that page
So
from?
this is Avengers Beyond. The artist I got it from is Greg Land. He does some X-Men, I
favorite
think.
artist.
But it's page 20. And the reason I got it is because the Beyonder.
Oh, I was gonna say that's the Beyonder, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
great
also I also looked it up on Key Collector after, and this book it's one of those keys where you have to filter to where it says non-keys, but it's the first appearance of the bootleg Avengers where it's just like normal people with powers and they're all jank or something. But it's just I thought for the price that this was, I mean, you get up close, another action shot in this big open field. I mean, I really couldn't.
Cool, man.
For a first original page under $200, I had to do it.
Love away. I love it.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but did all that, and then back to the giant size X-Men. I've been doing it by just flipping books. This in my free time, just kind of scouting around, picking up deals where I can. just flipping books. So if you need something, I post it on my Instagram. Check it out. Let me know. I've been hooking up people pretty well. I mean, I try to get them cheap enough where I can hook the homies up with some pretty good deals too. So
nice.
Two
Derek?
good sellers right here. Well, Josh too, but.
What do I got going on? I have a video coming out probably in a couple weeks. I'll give you a spoiler. I picked this up recently, and there's some other books as well. But this is the second X-Men crossover, Fantastic Four number 28. So this was cool. I talk about this a little bit and a few other books. I just started the script for my next long essay video as well. So in case I just feel like I didn't upset the comic community enough and didn't get enough negative comments on that video. So I was like, hey, why don't I just start working on another one to get shit on some more? So
well, I mean, you have no, you do realize you have no idea what you're talking about. So as long as
absolutely.
Yeah,
right. One comment said I have a face for radio and a voice for film or whatever it was. Like, oh man, some of the anyway. So that and I stayed mum during the whole movie thing because I do not care for any X-Men movie actually at all, save for Logan was okay, and I like the Deadpool movies kinda, but all the X-Men movies in my eyes have been trash. I have low expectations about all of this because I also don't like many of the Marvel movies either. So there you go.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough,
dude.
Fair enough. When we created the Council of X, around that Krakoa round table, there was, Sinister and all the other villains, so.
And there was me. I was at the end of the table.
That's right. Winter chairs.
We're happy to have you. Travis, what's going on?
Well, every Saturday morning I have a Whatnot show at 7 a.m. Pacific time because I'm on the West Coast. With Dan. I mean, Dan's not in the show, but Dan is not in the show. But wait, Dan. He's not in the show, but he's on the West Coast. You know what? Actually, you know what I'm really hoping to do is I've been working with my daughter on. She's doing a video series for my YouTube channel. It's coming up real soon. It's going to be not X-Men related. It's and a bunch of these guys in here gave voices and awesome stuff. And we're about ready to go live with Decepticon Week on my channel. And she's already got a Autobot Week in the plans for that too. All comic book related. It's like going to be comic book showing and things like that, but it's going to be from Starscreams and the perspective of the other Seekers. So it'll be really fun. For me, what I'm doing, you guys, I showed that drawing that I did on the show earlier, and what I'm going to be trying to do is I'm going to be doing more of that. That's what I really want to be doing. I'm going to sell this stuff behind me, and it's going to be gone. And it's all going to be gone. This is going to become an art studio. And I'm going to start doing more art and doing more art on my channel. I'll be doing a lot more art with other people live and stuff like that. If you'll notice on my Whatnot show on Saturday mornings, I've had a friend named Sam who's been back here behind me drawing, just hanging out and drawing. And the whole point is that that's the direction I want to go. I love comics, but I want to draw comics. I don't want to sell comics. I don't want to be a comic book sales guy. I want to be a collector who draws. And so that's my plan. That's where I'm going. And then whatever my daughter wants to do on the channel. So
nice.
That's the plan.
Love it.
All right. As far as for me, I have Wednesday night Colossus' spotlight on a CGC unboxing, starring my good friend in the chat, Matt and Clemson. He reached out about he has the CGC submission. He's been doing a little bit of his own clean and pressing, and wanted to kind of get have the results on camera. And I offered him to come on the show and do it there, and so we're gonna do that. I'll be joined by Brandon from Mon Comics and Justin from No Good Comics that night as well. And that's at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific time on Wednesday evening. And then I should have a video dropping on Friday or the following week. I'm not sure. But other than that, that's all that's in the hopper for now. And thank you once again, everybody, for.
Hold up, is it a blind unboxing, or does he already know the grades? Is it going to be one of them?
I believe it's blind. He said he was holding on to opening
That's
it
fun.
up. So.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I actually I'm going to have a CBCS unboxing coming here in about a week too.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Oh, fun.
Love the blind unboxings. All right. So again, thanks everybody in the chat for tuning in, everybody who popped in earlier as well. Thanks to all you guys. And we'll see you on the next meeting of the Council of X.